Well, we got airplanes these days, don't worry, they make it over the top just fine. Contrary to what... I haven't gotten around performance yet.
Russian porn's so boring.
Think so?
I have no idea. I've never seen it.
Probably. I've seen a lot of porn.
I mean, the Germans, though, wow. I go, this can't be real. That's gotta hurt, like, severely.
Isn't it just wrong? Wait. Isn't German porn just, like, it's like that, you hear that, like, Rammstein playing, du hast, like, it's like they're doing it in there.
Dude, they're literally hanging each other with hooks through their skin and shit. It's fucked up.
He just said something just absolutely malicious about the German people with no ground. You're basing this off of a culture that was not even like part of their actual culture, Frank.
And mind you, he's doing this to her after she pissed and shit in his mouth.
Who's Mr. Gray here?
I am German. My last name is Linker. You can't get more German than that. You rearranged two letters and it sounds very bad.
Linker? Stinker? No.
Hitler?
Oh, well. But now you're just Nostradamus-ing that shit. That's not, like, even close, is it? I mean, come on, that's like saying, like...
Hitler. That was pretty close, I think. But no, I don't subscribe to fucking weird...
Wait. The best thing about those things is, like, I mean, look, it's an anagram. If you spell it backwards, it means this, and it's like, okay, in English. It's the same thing I always say. I'm like, in English, that works.
Yeah, what was Nostradamus' main language again?
And, like, half of these things, the Illuminati, they probably speak, like, Italian, or they'll have them speaking some other language, and yet apparently all these words backwards in English mean shit. And it's because they're so ignorant. They speak English, so then all conspiracies have to be done in English. Because English is the only language that any conspiracy would ever use to establish a world order. English. One of the newest forms of language on the planet.
And it's just like, the flat earthers, they're all from the northern hemisphere.
Well, yeah, it's why they have northern hemisphere bias when they make their fucking flat earth maps. They make these maps that only work in the northern hemisphere. As soon as you cross into the southern hemisphere, you're like, that's kind of fucked up, isn't it? They go, whoa, you can't talk about southern hemisphere. It doesn't exist.
In the north, it doesn't work either, but...
Well, the big thing about the compass...
Yeah. Oh.
I mean, they won't even acknowledge that there's southern hemisphere compasses. They go, no, there isn't. It's like, dude, when you buy a compass, you literally need to, like, if you're, like, sailing the world, you need to have either a proper, like, it's a compass you can rotate, and I guess it just moves the magnet. It does the same thing, but it just rotates it. Anyways, it does something where it's able to work in both hemispheres for some fucking reason. But other than that, you need to switch almost
that way.
Well, apparently they don't work very good near the equator or something like that. Depending on where you are in the equator, they're not as accurate compasses because they're getting southern hemisphere and northern hemisphere or something like that, and your compasses.
Yeah, but most compasses I've seen, that there's a red part of the needle.
You're not understanding. All they do, okay, so what happens with the compass is that they want to point towards the magnetic fields, right? Well, the magnetic fields, they'll want to point up because the magnetic fields are up. So there's a weight on the one side to make it so when it wants to, it's something to that effect. Anyways, I might be getting the nuance of it a little bit wrong, but there's a weight. There's like a little crystal, like a rock. There's like a little tiny salt grain, if you will, something that big, and it's a little weight on there, and it's or they'll make it thick. You ever notice how the one stick is thicker? The red stick is thicker often than the white stick.
I've never hyperanalyzed.
If you look at a compass, you will see that either there's a weight or it's made of thicker material on the one side, and that's how they weight it. There's a ratio, and they weight it because the magnetic will want to lift the compass. So they weight it so that it sits flat on the thing. And in the northern hemisphere, that's great because it's weighted for the northern hemisphere, the fact that the way that the lines move. But then when you move to the southern hemisphere, what will happen is your compass will start, your pin will start floating upwards like this, and I think it'll start pointing down towards the North Pole, which is fucking down there. See, they say, what, the compass doesn't point up or down, and you go, well, it does if you use the wrong compass in the wrong part of the world, because the northern one will want to point towards north. Well, now it's weighted too, so it drops and it wants to point towards north, and it's something to that effect anyway. So it'll make your who is it? Greater Sapien did a whole. Well, I did a video on it, but I used a little chunk of Greater Sapien's video to demonstrate that because he actually demonstrates it like in the southern hemisphere. Oh, he's fantastic, but Flat Earth is kind of dead as far as we're all concerned, which is why he hasn't been doing much. But if you go watch Greater Sapien, you can look it up on YouTube. Anybody listening, Greater Sapien. If you go, your audio is scuffed. Whose audios? We got two different audios. I don't. If you're talking about Frank, it's because you speak through a waffle.
Fuck you.
Anyways, to finish, Greater Sapien did a video on it, and if you use the wrong compass in the wrong hemisphere, it'll literally go like this, and it'll like hit the bottom of the compass and drag around on the compass because it wants to point up and it's not weighted properly. So the big difference between a southern hemisphere and a northern hemisphere compass is just how they're weighted, so that they sit properly.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So, but they won't even acknowledge they exist. They'll all be like, no, you don't. You're like, sure you do. Your sailor would literally, in fact, if you went to a great sailing place and said, I'm going to sail the world, they'd say, like, they'd be like, well, this is the compass you want. They'd probably give you one of those multi-hemisphere ones. It's like it rotates, think of it like a,
the one they had is like a big pedestal, right? It wasn't like a pedestal. And it was
well, you're thinking Pirates of the Caribbean, I think, but,
Well, what other fucking thing would I have to go off of with? I wasn't there. So whatever Johnny Depp had to do is what I think they had to do, okay? And apparently all you have to do is get beat to death by a beautiful woman. Apparently.
Well, I was trying to hear this for a second. Oh, yeah, we're clipping really bad. That's on me.
You were a little bit...
No, I see what they're talking about. It's fucking terrible. So we got that fixed. I should check that before we start streaming next time. I was coming through to you just fine.
I mean, not visually, but audioly. Like audio, you sound fine.
No, it wasn't
matched up.
Well, that has nothing to do with what the problem we were having, so don't know what to
That's
tell you.
all I know. You sound fine to me. So
well, no, it was an output problem. It's because your source is taking it right off my mic, and anyways, we're good. Okay. So I think we're back. Let me double check this. I just didn't listen to this for 1 second. No, I see what they're talking about. So we got that fixed.
The names there. Is that
no, we're good. We're good. We got it fixed. Sounds better.
John and Stringer News and Barry Crude Oil and Robert Williams. Is that who's in the chat right now?
No. I'm not looking. What's happening? I see Gam Wolfez.
Hey, what's up, Greg?
Wolfers.
You doing good, Gregor?
I gotta pull this window out of here so I can use it without it
getting... Yeah, I always have the chat up on my other computer normally. I haven't.
Oh, it's whatever. You're not streaming. I've got lots of windows open. I'm high IQing it hardcore.
Oh, you're
well, because I gotta have like one window is my stream window from YouTube, and the other window is my OBS streaming, and then over here I've got Frank in my conversation window. So I've got lots of things going on. So, anyways,
you should do.
Moving forward from the technical Brainy Beaver hour as normal. I don't have a mustache. You have a mustache.
You should do this with your mustache now.
I don't have a mustache. I don't even have.
Do you get it?
No, I don't. Oh, yeah. Well, I always get that. I'm the one that invented that joke. No, that's not true. Anyways.
Yeah, no, you're not.
He invented it when he fucking made fun of himself when he said he was high IQ because of all the. It was like, tell me you regret that. Like, please tell me you regret that. Because like, I'm just laying in bed, high IQ research, and I got like 80 tabs open.
Yeah, I got like 4 laptops, 80 tabs, high IQ research.
Holy fucking shit.
Dude, I seen a video. A video popped up on my wall. I don't know why. It was 15 seconds long. It said, "Is there any? Do you see anything wrong with this?" And it was a North American map of every flight going on at that time, and it was just 15 seconds of a still map of little planes everywhere. And I'm like, what am I supposed to be looking at that doesn't look right?
I'll be back, Frank. Don't get worried. Don't get worried. I'm still here, buddy.
Enough. I got it now, buddy.
Yeah.
Scott, where'd you go?
That's what happened the one time. You were like, you vanished. It was like I was playing It's like I was playing peekaboo with a child. I just disappeared for a second. He was like, where'd you go?
It's like you're an actual computer program.
No, I was confused. It was so simple that I was confused on what was the problem even.
It's like I'm treating you like a chat bot.
You're like, I don't even know. I can't even see you anymore. I'm like, I'm thinking you can't even see, like there's no like feed coming to you or anything. And meanwhile, I've just disappeared from my counter's edge. He's like, you're gone.
Where did you go, Scotty?
Oh my God. I think that one's up on the last stream. Or was it? I don't know which one. 2 ago? I don't know. It was fun.
So problems every week. It shouldn't be. I've been doing this almost 6 fucking years.
I don't have problems anymore when I'm doing it on my own. It's only when I'm working with you, Frank.
Yeah, and I don't have any problems when I do it with, say, Phoenix.
I see how it is. We have a failed connection. That's it. We'll start the divorce proceedings. I'll contact a lawyer.
No, because like up on the Way Off Topic radio thing, above my head has 4 names, right? It says
I'm
John
not
Rapp,
on camera.
Bringing News, S1,
I'm coming back.
Steve Boyle, Robert Williams. I was just wondering if they were in the chat or why are they there? I don't know who they are.
They're my YouTube supporters. We don't have any Way Off Topic supporters. When we do, I'll get a different string for that. So.
That's not true. We have the GAM. All right.
But I don't mean like that. These are like monetary supporters, and we don't.
Don't worry, Greg. I don't ever forget about it.
Like Classy Bear, their ex-penguin, just raised his donation from $15 a month to $25, which is very much appreciated in a world where I have no money.
Dude, you know, it's fucking awesome because it's not like YouTube will take care of their creators.
They won't even give me fucking memberships. I don't know what I don't know what dick I have to suck. I don't understand.
Dude, Cukester had to fucking fight for 8 months to get anything, and he's got over 1 million subs. Nothing he does is demonetizable. You know, the dude is funny as shit.
Yeah, but they auto. So now they used to be 30,000, but now they'll give you memberships at they used to be 30,000, but now they'll give them to you at 10, and that's automatic. They changed the threshold. Because 30 is ridiculous. Like, the thing a lot of us were complaining is, like, I get them trying to make sure, what they're trying to do is they want to make sure that not every channel gets memberships. So not just every single channel at 1,000 or 2 or 3 or 4,000 channels. Because what they want to do is they want to make sure the people that are streaming more actively, they're just regular. I think the algorithm picks up, like, how often you stream, how often you release videos. I think it picks up all those things, and it wants channels that have shown that they're going to be there. They're always going to be releasing content. Yeah. And so... Well, what I'm getting at is the reason is then it doesn't spread the money around. Instead of spreading the money on creators that aren't necessarily pulling their weight, it spreads the money to creators that earn it, and there's more money for the creators that are earning it left in the pot, essentially, right? But, you know, you get somebody like me where I don't know what the issue is, if I've been too sporadic at times, which I think is the fucking issue. I think it's because I don't have a schedule. You look at everybody else and they stream very religiously, like several times a week, once or twice a week. Whereas I will only, you know, there's sometimes where I'll go 3 weeks without streaming at times just because life gets in the way, which I'm trying to avoid that. But still, I think that right there is enough that the AI has been like inconsistency. You're not worthy necessarily, because you look at like AT2 Productions, they stream multi-hour streams where they just like watch stuff and they laugh and do military things. But he does them once a week, every week, and all of a sudden he got it at like 1,100 subscribers. He got memberships. Well, I'm at 3,600 and I don't have them.
Okay.
So like, there's channels that are channels that are smaller than me. The Geek Rooms had memberships for months. They're smaller than me by a few hundred. They were anyways. I don't know what they're at now. And again, I'm happy for these channels that have it. It's just I don't understand why I've been excluded from it. Because it would be nice that if I could have. Because you know what you do. You mean you look at team streams. It's member. Well, those are all people pledging $2 and $3 and $5 and $10 a month and stuff. And
even if you're not,
it's easy.
Even if you're not monetized, if you have members, you should get that.
Well, you can't get members without monetization. It's part of a monetization feature. You can't earn any money on YouTube without monetization.
So you are monetized then?
Oh yeah, I've been monetized for a year now.
Okay, cool. All right. And what is it? 1,000 is the threshold?
It's 1,000 is the Well, hold on. 1,000 subscribers is the threshold for monetization, but it's also 4,000 hours. 4,000 watch hours in the last 12 months, and that's continuing forward. At any point, if you get less than 4,000, now here's the thing: when you're a new channel starting out, 4,000 watch hours is pretty daunting. Like, you know, I had 12 or 13 or 1,400 subscribers even before I had the 4,000 hours. It took until, you know, I think I went 2 months with over 1,000 subscribers before I actually had the 4,000 hours. Now, I get 4,000 hours off of like a video now. You know, like I think my last video did like
in like a month. I mean, because when you first started doing it, I found you quick as fuck. You had like 1,000 subs maybe when I first talked.
Well, and you got to remember too, there was a really big that was right before YouTube kind of slammed the door on started censoring pretty heavy the flat Earth content. And I'll be honest with you, if you Radical, all of us can look at our views. We were getting more views when we had 1,000 subscribers than we're getting now in the mid 3s.
I like Radical, but his accent gets annoying to me.
The only thing I don't like as of late is that he's I get that we've kind of run out of flat earthers to make fun of, which is what's been getting hard for a lot of us because it's the same stale comments over and over again. And so unless you find somebody that has something really cockamamie to talk about, it's hard to find somebody new in the fold that has something new other than the water doesn't bend, the water doesn't bend. You know, look at this mirage, you know, this obvious sign of refraction that's wobbling in the fucking distance. And oh, that's clearly something we can see. And it's like, but why is it wavy? It's like, don't worry about the waves. Fuck those waves through the image. That's nothing. It's like it's a fucking mirage.
Like Professor Dave says, you just say a bunch of big words and then hand wave it away.
Exactly. They just go, you know, they say things like, I'll get things where I say something, they get the QE thing where they're like, if P, then T, then D or Y or something. It's like some equation thing Quantum Eraser came up with, and it's ridiculous. It doesn't mean anything. It's just letters and words, and he sounds clever to them, and they go, this fucking guy. They go, this guy knows what he's talking about. I'll suck the cum out of his dick any day.
This guy's read a dictionary. Holy fuck.
Okay, so do you know what Bob was fucking telling people on his channel the other day? I tuned in. I'm a subscriber of a lot of the lovely flat earthers. It's really a great thing to do. If you want to go insane, no, Bob, not Rob, Bob, big fat fucking globe earth ring laser man. And we found there was a
15-degree drift.
His name's but he's not named Bob Skiba. That's Rob Skiba you're thinking of.
Oh, my bad.
Bob Nodell.
Bob Nodell, that's it. I'm sorry.
So that guy, I tuned in to Globebusters because, you know, loyal subscriber to Globebusters.
Per hour drift.
They were fucking telling. Yeah, thanks, Bob. That's what I said. I said, what about the ring laser gyroscope in this comments? But either way, he'll probably delete me. But either way, he was doing a stream and telling people, okay, so get this. Now, this is what I really love. In fact, I really need to turn it into a video. 5G's bad, right? Because you've heard the conspiracy thing, like all the waves. Well, you've heard the whole thing of like have you not heard what the conspiracy theories are about?
The 5G thing? Yeah.
Well, how the 5G is going to like irradiate our fucking cells because of the vibrations of the fucking frequencies, and they'll come up with anything, whatever. But
4G was going to when we went from 3G to 4, right? The same argument.
Yeah, generally, I didn't ever remember hearing that, but I guess there was that argument.
I remember. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember, but see, now what's happening is Russia. The big difference now, and the reason it's gaining a better foothold now, is that Russia has figured out they can successfully manipulate Americans, I believe. And Well, like for instance, one of the worst channels for pitching the 5G paranoia, like if you want to talk news channels, is RT. Okay, well, what is RT? You know that green square RT? You've seen RT News. They've got RT America. You know, it's well, okay. Well, if you go look up 5G information from news channels, you'll get a bunch of RT America going like, could it kill you? Could it murder you? Like they use words that are heavy. Like it's very much like watching Fox, except only, but listen, only when they're talking about 5G do they start getting like this, and or like certain technologies and things. And what it is, okay, so RT is Russian television. So RT America is Russian TV America. It's wholly owned by the Russian state media company.
Which is trigger word to hell, I'm sure.
Okay, so get this. Russia is behind in 5G. America... No, it's true, though. This is a fact, okay? So Russia is behind in 5G. China is ahead in 5G, and America is kind of in the middle, let's say, okay? So now 5G is rolling out around the planet. It's expected to be the biggest thing since white rice, I guess. So China, which is part of the reason why America's trying to block Huawei, and is, I imagine it's not just, you know, bad practices. It's probably also because they're trying to fucking slow down Huawei a little bit. And let's face it. But anyway, and that's the Chinese mega giant 5G company that's trying to take over the entire 5G world.
I thought that was Vodafone.
No,
Vodafone.
No. Huawei's, and they engage in espionage where they steal technology from American and Canadian like telecom companies. But
they make fake iPhones and fake Galaxies.
Yeah, but that's not. This is different. Huawei makes real phones, and they put their own apps on it because they're a rival to Google now. Like what I'm telling you is they are a massive fucking empire company that makes real products and is coming to take the crown. So that's the difference. They're not a fucking fake phone company. They're a real company that is conquering the 5G world. So Russia's behind. So if you watch RT America, they will tell you how bad 5G is for you. And it's all very sinister wording and very leaned. And the reason is Russia's behind, and they've figured out that Americans are a little bit manipulatable through social media and through news. And so now Russia's doing everything in their power to try to convince the average American that 5G is bad for you in this way. And even if they don't do the average American, get this. All they have to do is get enough of the stupid Americans. I'm not saying you have more than anybody else. I'm not criticizing America.
Oh, yes, we do. Yes, we do.
I'm not going there. That's your job, not mine as a Canadian. But what I'm saying is all they have to do is get enough of it. It's the same for my country. All they have to do is get enough of the stupid people to believe that it's bad for them. And they can slow down America in litigation for years. And China doesn't give a fuck about that kind of litigation. Russia doesn't give a fuck about that kind of litigation. But America has to deal with it because of the kind of country you are. You have a legal system that deals with it properly. So anytime, even our country, we've got pipelines, multi-billion-dollar pipelines that don't get done because they're like laying pipe, and then somebody's, you know, it'll be a native group or something like that. But still, basically somebody steps in the front and goes, whoa, my great-great-great-granddaddy died here. Or like, this was a whatever. I own this chunk of fucking, you know, like next thing you know, it's like it goes back to the courts for 5 fucking years before you can lay a pipe there because and next thing you know, it goes to the point where they're like, fuck it, we'll go over the mountain because they're just done with dealing with the problem or something. Like so litigation runs our world over here, but Russia doesn't give a fuck about that. China doesn't give a fuck about that. And the developing world really doesn't give a fuck about that either. So the only places that care about it are the West, like Europe and and like us in the West, Canada, America, and stuff like that. So really, by slowing down America, any bit of slowdown, if they can even slow down 5G rollout in one location in America by a year, they are literally putting, like, stomping on America's balls by doing that, because they're allowing the companies like, so now China wasn't working with Russia on this, but now China's like, go Russia, go Russia, because they see what Russia's doing and they're all on board for it. They're like, this is fucking working great. And of course they've got their own motives. Now see, here's the difference between Russia and China. China wants to start a new world order that is centered around China as the primary country. Whereas, like, the Chinese yen is the primary currency, all that stuff. They want to win. They want to conquer the world economically. The military they have is just to defend that conquest, that economic conquest, but they really want to own the world economically. And I'm gonna end it on this. The difference between them and Russia is Russia wants to conquer the world by any means necessary. To him, it doesn't matter. Money doesn't matter because him and his friends are rich. He just wants to conquer. And so that is the difference between the mentality. Russia just wants to. That's why Russia's fucking your shit up in your social media and stuff. They really don't give a shit. They just really want to.
Too though.
Well, they've already detected Fancy Bear or whatever, the Russian hacking group has already been targeting Facebook blocked like 1 million ads already because they're already ramping up for your new election. So they've already started doing it because it'll be like they just try to sow. What they'll do is they'll post an ad for Trump, like a meme for Trump, and then they'll post a meme and using fake information, let's say, like they'll lie or they'll embellish or they'll take clips out of context and they'll make it up and they'll go like this, and then at the same time they'll post a thing against Trump and they'll post them in the same forum and they'll get them all fucking arguing, and they want you guys to fight with each other. They want to start a civil war.
It ain't gonna happen.
Man, you guys are closer than you've ever been with the current president. It's obvious to everybody but yourselves.
The only way we could ever,
dude, think about it. You're about to go into a crisis too during an election season.
If we got our military on our side and not the government side, maybe. But dude,
but look at the tweets from Trump and the Republican senators. In this last year, even the last 12 months, there's been Trump has said we have the military, we have the police on our side, because let's face it, military and police tend to be more Republican. They tend to vote more Republican. They get more from the Republicans who are all about honoring, the people, which they don't really, but they pretend they're going to get more. They're going to give more to those people. So they tend to be Republican. And so Trump's not wrong when he says, we got the police, we got the military. He literally fucking tweeted that. That is something your current president tweeted out loud to people. And then one of the Republican senators in one of the states tweeted within like the same week was like, oh, they should really watch out because Republican states have 75% of all the guns in America. Holy shit, if that's not threatening to fucking attack the other half of America. That's pretty crazy to be tweeting that shit. That's basically threatening out loud. Like, that's really weird. That's crazy he'd even think that was an acceptable tweet.
I wouldn't say it's weird. I'd say it's just truth.
No, he said they better watch out. He said basically the Democratic states better watch out because the Republican states got all the guns. That's what he said. In his exact words. I'm not even fucking paraphrasing. That's his words.
I don't doubt it. I just don't.
Oh man, that's crazy. But that's what I mean. You guys are sitting on your haunches. You should be livid about shit like that. That is a fucking democracy falling apart.
I don't care what the president says. The president is
a puppet. But the people that follow him do.
See, that's what they all want us to do is pay attention, look over here, look so you don't look behind the curtain.
Yeah, but it's working because in the meanwhile, you guys are letting Mitch McConnell do whatever he wants.
I've been saying it's been working. Hook, line, and fucking sinker.
Oh yeah,
son.
No, of course. Mitch McConnell's getting away with murder in the background while Trump's taking all the attention. But at the same time, that son of a bitch Trump should have been fucking let go a long time ago. That he is a horrid human being. I mean, honestly, I just have to tell you one thing. Like, even if he's okay at doing his job, he is a terrible representative for your country. I just personally, I always thought America was a little better than that. Like, that you wouldn't have that kind of person in charge because he's a pretty vitriolic, hateful person.
Question. If we had Hillary running shit right now, would you think better or worse?
I don't know what everybody's problem with Hillary was. Hold on, let me finish the sentence. Other than the fact that I will admit that after seeing more evidence about her, sponsorships and her speeching campaigns and all that, yes, exactly, that she is crookeder than a fucking, than a fucking bent piece of, I don't even know what to go with that, but you get what I'm saying. I agree with everything you were saying with that. But she's not, I don't think that she would sell your country's soul out for the way Trump has done it. Because Trump, I'm going to tell you right now, on the world stage, America has basically lost its entire face.
Hillary goes to North
get this.
Korea,
No, because get this.
North Korean president. Does that ever happen?
Get this. Right now, while Trump has gone around and tariffed all of his allies, he's gone around and pissed on everybody in the world. And while he's doing that, China has gone around behind your backs and made $1 billion deals. Because while America has gone around and pissed on everybody, China's slid in right behind and went, because the old attitude America had was trying to, like, the things like making a deal with Iran was trying to build Iran up and make them trust America to the point where you could stop having them as a rival. I agree, but hold on. I'm not saying it's black and white. Just let me finish. I'm not saying it's black and white. The plan, I'm a dynamic thinker. I'm not saying it's black and white. But the plan was to try to build them up and try to make them a friend by showing them a bit of compassion instead of stomping on their testicles. But instead, Trump went in there in reversed order, and he decided to stomp on their testicles. Well, it reset everything to the point where you guys are almost in a war with them, like, frankly. Like, and now they're enriching uranium again, and they're doing all the things we didn't want them to fucking well do. So, like, and Russia, America backed out of an arms agreement with Russia, which is exactly what Russia fucking wanted. The reason you guys got in the agreement with them was because Russia was building weapons that you guys, and I agree, thought were a bad idea. And you guys made a deal with them because you started building better ones, and they were like, whoa, okay. So they were ready to do a deal, and they made a deal. See, what this opens up now, that arms agreement that he backed out of too, that's what Russia wanted. He said, oh, Russia's been breaking the rules for years. Yes, and every time they do, they were able to be sanctioned. But now, there are no rules. So now they can fucking just break the non-rules because there aren't any. Well, do you know what that opens them up to do? That opens them up to now, one of the things they weren't allowed to develop was, like, nuclear bombs that were tiny on the, like, think like Fallout, where you could, like, shoulder-mounted nukes.
Yeah, they call them, I know the word for them. They call them tactical nukes.
But even cruise missile nukes. It was illegal for any country to develop a cruiser missile that had a nuke on the tip. A nuclear weapon has to go to space or be delivered by an airplane. It gives the other country a chance at targeting it. That's the way. That's the rules. That's the rules.
No, there's a barge that basically sails up and down the Russian coast, right? And it's got a counter, a radiation. Are you talking about the dead hand thing? Because that doesn't actually exist. That was a big old. I don't think it's true.
Because there's a billion different versions of it. It was a facility underground. It was a boat off the coast. It was a. The evidence I've read is that it doesn't really exist.
It's the fucking number station. It's the number station that went offline for.
No, exactly. Yeah. I get what you mean. But the only reason it's a bad idea is because it would be a really bad idea to invent something that would dead hand that because like if that ever fucking. Well, because if it ever dead-handed by accident, you were in a fucking world of trouble all of a sudden, boy.
You know, like two times, like there was a man in Russia, I forget his name exactly. He was in charge of watching, it was basically the equivalent of NORAD, but in Russia, you know.
Yeah, I'm sure they have their own.
Yeah, and there's twice where it's seen a bunch of missiles launched from the U.S. coming to Russia, and he was the one that was supposed to give the call to the Kremlin or whatever, let them know that there's an inbound strike so they can, you know, let their shit go before they were dead, right? Well, he just didn't do anything twice because he just had a gut.
Gam Wolfers
that it was a false alarm.
But he was right. But Gam, the American banks won't even lend Trump money anymore. He's gone bankrupt so many times. That's why he has to get his money from Russia, which is why he sucks Putin's balls. So, like, you know, you're saying he understands business, but the reality is he started with a small loan from daddy of $100 million, and he used it to bury himself multiple times to the what?
Who put us in the insane debt that we were in?
Oh no, I'm not. Well, but in my country it was the Republicans, or it was the conservatives, which are your Republicans. Yeah. So I mean. Oh, but anyways, all I'm saying, Gam, is that you really should look into Trump's past a little bit more. The reason he gets his money from, and this is a fact, the reason he gets his money from Russian banks is because American banks won't even lend him money anymore because his credit is horrible in America because he's actually lost more money than he's ever made. In fact, he's had more business. He's had what, like 8 bankruptcies or had 8 different businesses go fucking bank.
Just an AC, are you kidding?
Oh my God, he's a fucking and he Yeah,
He bankrupted 6 casinos in AC.
He's bought companies that were running great and drove them right into the fucking ground. He's literally.
Dude, AC is just coming back a little bit, but AC was a ghost town for a fucking decade.
He's not a great businessman, and he lies. The reason he won't release his tax forms is because he's lying about what he's worth, and he doesn't want everybody to know. That's the reality. He says he's worth billions, and they've done a run up of what he's worth, and there's no way.
He's like your neighborhood Italian that drives a Chrysler and shit, and wears like a cheap ass suit and a fake Rolex. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, honestly, I think you're wrong, but I respect your opinion, Gam, and I'm not gonna jump all over your back, buddy. I appreciate you being here, and I respect your opinion. But honestly, I think if you look into it a little bit more.
Greg is a big, conspiracy guy.
I get it. I don't want to listen. I don't want to piss on people because I get it. It's strong opinions. That's why typically on my channel, politics is like, we'll like touch on it, and I'll be like, let's fucking take a left at fucking Albuquerque over here.
I don't care two ways about it because
I mean, listen, all politicians are fucking scumbags at the end of the day, and I agree with everybody on that sentence. I agree with everybody.
There's one politician I would say right now that I would go out and vote for. I don't even know what he is. He could be a Republican or Democrat for all I care.
I do think Obama was a good president.
Who?
I think Obama was a good president. He made some mistakes, though. Hey, listen, I'll call him out. I'm not one of these people like I thought he was a great president, but I'm not one of these people who would bat my eyes and like he made mistakes.
Oh, the space shuttle program was a big one.
That wasn't Obama.
Yes, it was.
What, shutting it down? Do you know why he shut it down? Frank, you obviously don't know anything about the space shuttle program. Do you know what it fucking cost per launch? Per fucking launch, Frank. How much? What it cost?
In the billions.
Yeah, but you can launch people on a Soyuz for 100 million. The same number of people.
I know.
Oh, well, that's why he shut it down. It's a good idea.
Yeah, but you don't shut it down and don't have any plan for another one.
You saved a ton of money. That's what the plan was. The plan was shut it down, save billions of dollars, like literally tens of billions. In fact, it might even be by now, it might be hundreds of billions of shuttle. Because guess what? The shuttle was getting more expensive. The shuttle.
Money, our
no, I know, but dude, no, it was because the parts were getting older. It was getting more expensive to maintain. We had shuttles that were breaking and killing people because they were built 30 years prior.
I agree.
So Frank, the options were rebuild brand new shuttles, redesign brand new shuttles, or shut them down, save tens of billions of dollars, and in the meanwhile, you could use that money to build all new rockets, a whole new family of rockets that will. And listen, and guess what's about to happen to Russia's space program because of this, Frank? It's about to fizzle and die in the darkness. Because already SpaceX has taken 80%. When SpaceX joined the fold, Russia had 75% of all launch capacity in the world went through Russia. Well, now something like 70% of all launch capacity in the world goes through SpaceX, and then like the other 15, or it's like. Well, the European Space Agency is like, they're all chopped in there, and NASA's in there,
and you also got New Zealand.
Yeah, but they all constitute, like, even, and don't get me wrong, part of SpaceX's numbers are NASA buying SpaceX launches. So NASA has its own launches and it has SpaceX launches, so that kind of makes it weird. But they are SpaceX launches because they're sold to SpaceX.
You know what's weird? The first ever
Gam agrees. Save that money. I think it was worth saving the money. And now you guys have a whole new. So here's the thing: you have a whole new. Well, look at you. Yeah, but look at the money bought you. You have a company that's landing rockets on the ground, saving literally hundreds of millions of dollars.
What's going to happen is if private enterprise did it.
Well, but they did it with funding from NASA, from the money NASA saved by not launching people on that space shuttle. That's what I'm saying.
You know, dude, I mean, did you see when Elon Musk went up against ULA in front of all those congressmen when he hadn't even shot a rocket up in the air yet?
But I'm gonna fuck you right in the ass.
What's that?
Well, because he destroyed them. He's destroying everybody.
Oh, it was a thing of beauty, wasn't it? Oh my God, that was the day I went, Elon Musk is my fucking hero.
Because I'll be honest with you, until he actually landed a rocket, on the fucking barge and shit. Everybody, I know it. Like I've read things about it. Like NASA was like, it's so cute him thinking he can land a rocket after it's launched a fucking.
We were thinking about doing that back in the 60s. We abandoned that shit because there's a big beautiful ocean out there.
Well, and listen, a rocket is mostly an empty tube. I mean, truthfully, they're expensive. What it is okay. So the engine apparently. So if you look at Blue Origin's plan with their New Glenn or whatever, their new rocket they're building,
it's an empty tank.
Well, it's a big, but that's what I mean. It's a bunch of tanks, and there's really not much in there. What it is, that engine though. Okay, so if you look at so if you've got a booster that's worth, let's say the booster's worth $100 million. Okay, you know they're
and that's generous, but okay, go ahead.
Well, yeah, because a SpaceX boosters, because I mean they can charge $60 million for a relaunch of a used one. I mean their boosters probably cost.
What they just used one.
I think they said a booster. I think a bottom booster stage is $40 million or something for a SpaceX booster.
Yeah.
Something to that effect.
And the second booster is worth double that.
Well, yeah, who knows? But either way, so what I saw is that apparently of that booster, let's say it's 40 million, it's like 30 million of it is the fucking engine. Like, and 10 million's the tube and tank kind of thing. But so what New Glenn,
not even 1 million is the tube and tank, and then 9 million is the fuel.
well, actually the fuel, believe it or not, is one of the cheapest things on the entire rocket.
It's only helium.
Well, it's hydrogen and oxygen and stuff a lot of times, or liquid LOX and yeah, in the universe, not on Earth. Actually, Frank, if you look it up, hydrogen's very expensive to generate on Earth.
You don't have to generate hydrogen.
Yes, you do. You have to break down either water. You have to electrolyze water, which is adding power to water. It's very power intensive. It's expensive.
Okay, fair enough.
Oh, no, everything.
Are you sure you're not getting
helium? Helium also only comes from way deep underground when you're getting natural gas. So that's also very rare, and we're running out of it on Earth because but that's what I'm saying. So you pick two gases that are extremely expensive and hard to get on Earth.
Oh, okay. So,
but it doesn't.
You think that's why SpaceX?
They're using the bottom. Okay, so Frank, the bottom stage typically just use kerosene a lot of times.
Well, sure.
But I don't know what they use on a SpaceX rocket. That's probably not what they use. But they use liquid oxygen and probably kerosene, to be honest with you.
Yeah, well, on SpaceX with the Merlin engines, they use LOX, right?
Well, that's liquid oxygen is the oxidizer.
Yeah.
Hold on, let's just look this up. Let's just look this up and get the facts.
The new Raptor engine uses methane and oxygen.
So he said, yeah, that's so that they can try to mine methane on Mars or something like that. But he did say how much the
For some reason there's an abundant source of methane on Mars for some strange reason.
Elon has said how much fuel it costs to fill a SpaceX rocket. It's $200,000.
Right on. And that's the thing I love about SpaceX, man. If you want to know something, there it is.
Well, they've got hidden numbers, but he's not. But let's face it, the other companies know that's a math equation. You'd calculate the diameter, the height of it's a fucking cylinder. You just calculate it. They know how much liquid ox and stuff it uses. They know what fuel type it uses. He doesn't need to tell them it's $200,000. They probably calculated that already without him even saying it. It would be a math equation.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah. So that's all I'm saying is like, so him giving away information like that's not going to hurt him because let's face it, it's not very proprietary.
I mean, because before,
you would just never get that because NASA would never be like, yeah, it's about $500,000 to fill that bitch. They just don't give you numbers like that.
It just wouldn't be easy to find.
Whereas he's just one man. He loves it. He's like, because that's what he was talking about, reusable rockets. He's like, well, I mean, he's like, fuck, it's like $200,000 to fill it. He's like, but it's, like $40 million to make the damn thing. He's like, it seems like a waste to throw it in the garbage.
Yeah, that whole 747 just to
if you Yeah, exactly. You flew up 747 and then you just fucking landed and lit it on fire when it fucking got on the ground. And threw it in the fucking garbage.
You get to Australia and watch it crash into the ocean.
Is that what his example was? You parachute out and watch it crash into the fucking ocean?
Yeah, it's like building a 747, which costs like $400 million new, and then fly it to Australia, and then as soon as you get there, jump out the bitch and watch it crash in the ocean, because that's what we've been doing.
That is what we've been doing, flying a fucking fully loaded aircraft.
Every time ULA takes off, we're still doing it. It's like watching a 747 take
Not
off.
only that, you know how much one of those ULAs cost? Holy shite.
400 mil.
Holy shit. Yeah, but you can do the same. Why are they? Okay, listen. I love the fact that there's competition. Why are they even hiring ULA anymore? They can.
That's what I'm going to say. The Space Force finally launched their first payload into space.
Wait. So Space Force owns its own rockets now, or what?
No, they don't. But they shot. I don't know what they shot up. It just said Space Force payload.
You know what I would do if I was them? I'd
I'm sorry.
Making too much noise.
And
we gotta bring it down.
I just got yelled at.
Okay, so yeah, but you know what they should go after? They should go after. Do you hear about this Russian satellite that's been stalking an American satellite?
Yeah.
They should go blow that fucking thing right out of the sky.
Russia's got about 5 of them that move around on their own, just checking shit out.
Well, one of them's been stalking your. At first it looked like it was moving into like an orbit where it was kind of following one of your spy probes, and now it's gotten to in the last few months, because you know it works, it takes time. In the last few months, it's moved itself into a position where it's very close in space terms. Like it's like 200 kilometers away, which is like nothing. So like it's right beside it.
Yeah, if it had a pair of human eyes, it could barely see it.
Well, human eyes, yeah, it would barely see it. Probably wouldn't be able to see it, but yeah, but in space terms, it's licking its bumper, like, and so it's in the exact same orbit as it. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's
no. I was just gonna say, because I'm pretty sure there's not a single astronaut that's ever been on the ISS that said, "Oh, looking at a satellite." Like they've never seen.
I don't think you see them go by. And even I played Kerbal Space Program, which is like, you know, not real life, but even its scale size. And even then, I've had one close call in my massive space station one time where I had an object appear, because it all stays there. It's perpetual in your game. So if you put enough junk up there, it is a problem for you. And I saw it appear in the distance, the reticle, and it said like, 30 kilometers, and it was moving, boy. It was like 30, 25, 20. So I was like, whoa, here it comes. And it went. But you don't see it. All I saw is the reticle, because it shows me like a HUD reticle, so I can, but if it got close enough, I'd see it. But it was, I think it was 300 meters away, but it was so fast. It was just like, and I'm like, woo, in space terms, that's a close call, boy. Because if that had hit my station, the game simulates it. It would simulate it hitting the station at that speed. Because when it came into my reticle, that was it entering my, my play bubble. So the game simulates it on a rail, essentially. Like, it's not animated. It's not actually like being simulated until it gets within a certain zone of you, and then it basically like Space Force.
Time out. I just want to give a big LOL to Greg. Space Force, and he put a space in between every letter.
That's actually a good point. I never really thought about it like that.
That's funny, Greg. But seriously though, but my point.
But that thing, all I was gonna say, that thing is right on behind it. It's tracking it. It's like in the same orbit path now.
Yeah, and the thing is, they noticed to come off from a launch they knew about, and all of a sudden,
well, they were tracking it, and then it started getting into a position where they're like, I think it's following that, and it got closer and closer, and then now it's literally like you could line their orbits up like they're just like overlaps. Mm-hmm. So it's right behind it.
It's like if we have a radar station in Houston that tracks everything that flies over our heads, you don't think fucking Russia doesn't either?
So guess what Russia claims it is?
What?
They've been experimenting. I believe this, but I don't believe the reason. They've been experimenting with satellite repair technology, like remote satellite repair. So that they could, like, basically that's the idea, is they said they've been practicing getting up close to satellites and tracking them so they could repair them. And it's like, sure they have. They want to get up close and fucking latch onto one of those bitches and be like, science! science. Like, think about it. If you could latch onto it, you could latch onto it, disable it, and then basically put it wherever you want it once it's not. Yeah, you could deorbit it, or you could go and bring it into an orbit where you could meet up with it with something else to grab it. I mean, let's face it, they want that technology.
Bottom line, if Russia has the technology where they can do that and get that close to other satellites, they need to share that technology so other companies like ESA is a big proponent of shit we don't use, coming up with different ideas like the nets and all that, or grabbing onto it and then
No, I didn't. Fuck, that'd be terrible.
That's awesome. You get so high, it's great.
Oh.
Anyway, don't do it.
I'm alone in the house, and nobody'd hear me collapse. I'd just be on the floor drooling and hoping I wake up again.
I mean, I don't care either way there, Grego.
Oh my god.
Good times. Trump hater guys say. I don't care.
I'm a bit of a Cheeto cheese hater. Cheeto cheese dust hater.
I just don't care, dude. Like Elon Musk put it the best. The president of the United States is the captain of a very large ship with an extremely small rudder.
Well, yes, and no. And the only thing is, you look at examples like him. Okay, so here's an example of somewhere where I do think he's failed.
Reelected.
This will be. Well, this will be real. So? Think what?
You think he'll be reelected?
I don't, only because he has enough kind of failures at this point. But I mean, anything's in the air with Americans. I don't judge you anymore in that regard because I have no idea. I think sometimes you guys are crazy, but that's my opinion. But what I was going to say is, if you look at one example of where I think he has failed you is a current example of this virus, is that unfortunately he came out initially and gave a lot of mixed messages, and instead of being unified and having, you have the health organizations saying one thing and you have the president up there, which, believe it or not, studies have shown that unfortunately kids and people do actually listen to what the president says, whether or not he's right or wrong. And so, when he's up there telling, it'll be okay, we'll snip this in the bud, and he was giving false hope, which when all the health officials were saying this is not going to work like this, and now you guys are the leading coronavirus country, and it's not going to go good for you.
Those numbers aren't correct in the least.
Well, they're probably high. They're probably higher, frankly.
Yeah, the China's way, way higher.
Well, yeah, but I agree, and so is Iran probably. They're probably hiding numbers as well. They were doing mass grave digging. They saw it with satellites. Yeah. So what I'm saying though is that evidence was in months ago while the president was still giving you day after day false hope that this was not going to hit American soil. So, and then only at the end in the last week, week and a half, let's say, has, somebody, I don't know what happened, if his daughter hit him over the head with something and said, "Daddy, stop it," or something, but like he somehow came to his senses and all of a sudden is like, okay, we got to listen to the health officials, but he's doing it reluctantly because he wants you back to work. He wants, he's got fresh breath. Nice.
He did do something unprecedented. He got 9 of the top major pharmaceutical companies in and basically made a mandate for them to work together, not against each other, to find a vaccine and cure for this thing.
Yeah, but but that's not that big of a deal. We have the same kind of mandates in our part of the world. I mean, we have the same rules. We've got them.
It's like Muslims. It's like asking world religions to work together.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter because they need Wait, I'm coming back. Whoops. That was an accident. I wonder what. I think I hit a button on my mouse that means back or something. But anyways, yeah. But I was just gonna say, like, but they need the clients, right? Like, they can't they need. I mean, they make a lot of money in America. They can work fucking well together, to help America, because, that's where they're making a lot of money.
Yeah, but they weren't until. I mean, I don't know if they are now or not,
but that is the kind of power that the president and our prime minister does have to mandate rules, in the House, like to bring up a bill, like we've already done it, where we've brought up same thing, where we brought up a spending bill and we, put it through the House, and now we're all gonna get money and put it in our socks and hope it never gets stolen or something. I don't know, but you know what I mean.
I'm just saying it was interesting to hear that. That's all.
Well, I'm not saying that all of his ideas are bad. Like the whole idea of pinning China down isn't like that. That's what you need to be doing. But like he's not wrong about that. But that's what the Trans-Pacific trade deal was about. And that deal was fine. Everybody else signed on to the, and America would have if it wasn't. The only reason he didn't is because it wasn't a Trump deal, and it wasn't a. It was Obama's thing, and it wasn't. He wants to kill everything that was Obama's, so he shut it down so that he could make a different kind of deal with all the countries on his own. And he's basically just done and tried to draft the exact same agreement we've all agreed to. In fact, we all signed it, but America. So I mean, the rest of us all have a trade deal in the Pacific now, like with all the other Asian countries. See, what it was is the idea was to get all the other Asian countries other than China, because China wasn't part of it, to get them onto a trade deal with North America so that Canada, America, Australia, like Vietnam, like all these countries around China were all in a big trade deal with us. And the idea was to try to suppress Chinese influence because, for instance, what China will do right now is they'll lord their control over certain materials in the area over countries and go, because their economy is so much bigger, kind of like what you guys were doing to us. They'll hold them up on a line and say, well, if you want this, you got to jump for it. Jump, little mouse, jump, jump, jump. And they'll get things they want from the other countries that aren't fair. And so what the idea was there is that if they all had a fair trade deal, like a free trade deal with North America, and everybody was trading with each other, we can source other markets for these materials and go around China. And so the whole thing was to control China and limit it, but he didn't sign on because it wasn't a Trump deal. It was a perfectly fine deal. In fact, it did exactly what he wanted to do, but it wasn't his. But that's kind of because Trump's a bit of a baby, and that's his thing, right?
What was this deal called?
That was the Trans-Pacific trade deal. That was the big one that Hillary was in on and Obama was in on, and probably a lot of Americans didn't like it because it was Hillary, so he was able to use that against it too because she was part of pushing that plan and everything. But it was a good plan. All the other countries, listen, everybody but America signed on in the end. I mean, America's the only country that pulled out. We all signed on and America didn't. So, I mean, but meanwhile, we all have free trade now. And you don't.
This is how little I pay attention, dude.
But all I'm saying is that's an example of somewhere where, like he could have just stayed with that deal and had exactly what he wanted, helped worked with his allies instead of against them to help to control China. But instead, he went around, pissed on the faces of all his allies, and then said, "Okay, come on, guys, help me beat up this bully." Like, fuck, how is that supposed to fucking work? Eat shit. You know what I mean? You know that, friends. China in that case, because America was saying, come on, we got to stop China's like Huawei and stuff because it's all about slowing down China now. But he did it right after pissing on his allies' faces by tariffing us and stuff. For instance, there was so much arrogance going on. Did you realize that when they tariffed Canada to the tune of whatever billions of dollars, they were actually surprised when we tariffed them back? They literally were like, we didn't think Canada would tariff us back. I'm like, why the fuck wouldn't we? We don't have to buy boats from America. We got boat companies here. Like, fucking Jesus Christ, we can do the same thing to you.
What did you tariff stuff with?
All kinds of shit. Boats, ketchup, anything that came from America. Chocolate bars. If it didn't come from Canada, it was tariffed.
Had to be maple syrup, definitely.
American maple syrup was tariffed into Canada because we have Canadian maple syrup. We don't need American maple syrup. We don't need to buy American maple. Anything. We got lots of pigs. We don't need American pork. American pork was tariffed. Like anything that was we tariffed eye for eye up to the point of what you tariffed us at, and then so that we got just as much money out of you as you got out of us. So and then and the companies like Hershey and.
I'm all for a country self-sustaining itself with its.
Oh no, it's all good. It's just that, but you got to realize that these are Americans that lose jobs and Canadians lose jobs for no reason. We were selling stuff to you, you were selling stuff to us. It was a happy relationship. It's never been a bad relationship between Canada and America. But what Trump did is he jumped in the middle. He pissed on our faces and said, "Well, we're a bigger economy than you, so you're going to give us concessions because we're bigger than you." That's what he did, man. I'm telling you.
So what he did was make. What? So you guys had to pay more on.
He wanted us. Well, like things like because like there's problems with being beside such a large economy. Like you guys are by an order of magnitude 10 times the size of our economy. Okay, so the problem is, and population wise too. So like if you look at, I'll give you an example, Frank. Our dairy system, which he ripped on. Now, what's interesting is he never ripped on it when he wasn't in dairy country. He would just do it when he was in dairy country because it was just what the dairy people cared about. When he went to coal country, it was about coal. So, I mean, it was all just him being a politician and selling himself. He didn't give a shit about them.
Didn't he say something about 10 new coal fucking power plants to go up?
Anyways, to finish this part, so he pushed to have American dairy allowed into Canadian markets because we had strict limits on how much American dairy was allowed into Canada, and they didn't have limits on our dairy. But here's the difference. Wisconsin, the state of Wisconsin, produces more dairy than the country of Canada. So if we just yeah, and I have too. Yeah, cheese and fucking milk. Like
that's all that's there.
Yeah, that's all that's in that state. I've been there too. So
and also, I just want to say, also the greatest natural terrain road course in the world. Greg, you got me on this. I know you do. America, buddy.
So all I'm digging towards here is that it's not a fair equivalency to say that because you guys have an open market that we should have an open market in milk, because what that would have done is that would have literally driven our milk market into the ground and made it so we only had American milk, which is not fair to Canada. Why should we have to buy all American milk just because? So we're going to let our own industry suffer and just decimate because that's just not fair, because Canada as a whole can't produce enough milk to make a dent in your market. But your market could literally drown ours to the point where we wouldn't even have milk producers. So it's not a fair equivalency to say, well, you're not being fair because you're not letting our milk in. Well, yeah, produce less fucking milk. Like, because in America, they produce so much milk that they end up pouring it down the drain because it's not worth anything, because the farmer has all this milk and nobody even to sell it to because they don't make him produce less milk. Whereas in Canada, we have a quota system where, like, you get a quota. Like, you might not even, like me, even we with beekeeping, like, I can't get in the quota system until somebody else leaves the quota system. So if somebody else has a
license almost, it's like a liquor license.
I'm not sure how the liquor license works, but maybe tell me if this is how it works. So
licenses in a state allowed. And
so it'd be like that basically. It'd be the same idea. So there'd be like a quota basically. Like there's only so much market for honey, let's say, and they know what the market can bear and where everybody's still going to get a fair price for their honey, and that way, honey producers stay in business and they're not all everybody's not poor and scraping the barrel for money, right? So that way at the market we all pay a fair price for the honey, but it's also fairly, you know what I mean? It's a win-win for everybody. There's no price shocks. The price is always very consistent. It never goes up. It never goes down. And the farmer can also rely on getting a minimum amount for his honey. You know what I mean? Like, he'll get $3 a pound for his honey. No matter what, I'm going to get $3 a pound for honey or something like that, right? Maybe if it's a good year, I'll get more if there's a little bit more demand, but I'll get about $3. But, so yeah, so we do the same thing with milk, because we've got so many farmers. We're only allowed to make so much milk. We know how big our economy is. We know how much milk we drink, right? So you can't just can you just imagine letting a big company come in, like a multi-billion-dollar conglomerate come in? They build a massive, fucking facility farm where it's just 50,000 cattle, and they drown the market to the point where milk is worth nothing all of a sudden, and they drive all of the mom and pop businesses out of business, and all the farms around you, all the ones you know and see around you driving around, they all go out of business. All that's left is that one big corporation owning all the milk.
Unreal.
Well, but that's kind of what's happening in America, isn't it?
I mean, I don't know. I haven't.
Well, you have big companies that own your chickens and own your cattle and stuff like that. Like, I think half the cattle in America are owned by the same company or something like that.
Purdue?
Probably, I don't know. But you know what I'm saying. Anyways, I'll get off my soapbox there. But that's what's that's kind of the thing. So it's not a fair equivalency to hang, especially when you got such a large economy. Like, you look at, like for instance, you could break California off of America, and America would stay the number one economy in the world without California. California would become the third largest economy in the world under China.
Yeah,
or was it fourth? It was third or fourth, but it's right up at the top.
I was gonna say, I wouldn't say it would be third, maybe top five, definitely.
No, I'm telling you, it was third or fourth. It was right. It wasn't even fifth. It was top. It was 3 or 4. And it would bump Canada from the 10th largest economy in the world to the 11th largest economy in the world, because you'd have to make room for California up there.
Yeah.
So like that's what I mean. Like that's how big your economy is compared to other countries. And like, you know, in Canada's, and by the way, Russia, 160 million. Canada's got 38 million people. Russia's got 160 something million. They're the 13th largest economy in the world. So it shows you how under their weight a Russia is punching.
That's because Russia's still communist. But,
Well, no,
you know.
it's back to that problem I was telling you about the difference between China and Russia and the way they're being run. China and Russia are similar in their government style, dictatorship, you know, totalitarian, but they're different in their style because China's going after economic victory, whereas Russia just want to be rich and play in the pool. So you know, the big pool of lust and women and money. So like.
And personally, I think Putin looks great with no shirt in those.
He's always got no shirt on. But so that's why Putin. They think Putin is the richest man in the world on a public servant salary. So what does that tell you? And plus his oligarchs. You've heard of oligarchs, right? Those people that like. If you haven't, go look it up. Go on YouTube and type oligarch afterwards. Russian oligarch.
Yeah, dude, Putin was the scariest motherfucker in Western Berlin.
Well, where I'm going with this is he will make his friends, like his old cronies and the people he was in the KGB with and stuff, will become like, hey, you want to run Roscosmos, which is their like space program, and it's like, sure, and it's like, hey, you're in charge of Roscosmos, and everything is cooked to make money appear in their back. Sorry,
it's that way.
Yeah,
it's
but
like, what do you know? That way, right?
Exactly, and now he's in charge, and what it is money now starts getting funneled off to his bank account, which is why these oligarchs, which don't do anything, they don't do a thing. They're literally just rich because they're rich, because they know the right person. So they just ride around and sip tea and eat ice cream and go jet skiing on their multi-story yacht in the Mediterranean, and that's all they care about, because they don't need to give a shit about anything, they just make money. Because the Russian people are giving their tax dollars to them. And that's the thing. I've told Russians, there's a lot of Russians that working in Canada, and one of them was talking up Putin pretty good. I said to him, I said, like, you got a country of 160 million people, and it's the 13th largest economy in the world. And you've got a country of 38 million people, or 36, or whatever we come in at. And, you know, it's the 10th largest economy in the world. I said, there's a problem with the math here. Why is Russia not doing better? And the reality is, I said, you can come up with whatever answer you want, but the reality is that it's because instead of the billions of dollars going back into the economy to support the growth of the Russian economy, you know, new industries, you know, cutting edge technologies, you know, new space technology, for fuck's sakes, they're still using the technology from the Cold War. That, you know, they.
I mean, the Soyuz's first flight was like 66.
Okay, dude, they've made billions of dollars off of the rest of the world launching people over the last decade, and they haven't invested a dime of it into their fucking space program. That is bullshit. They haven't. They haven't developed a new technology. In fact, the rockets are getting worse. That's why people are using them less and less.
You know what's funny? Russia does not believe in a self-destruct mechanism on their
Which is why you have a million pictures and videos of proton rockets hitting the ground.
And they are awesome.
Oh, have you seen them too? That orange stuff, if you ever see that orange gas coming for you, run like hell. Yeah, orange is never a good color for the fucking smoke.
The one guy videotaped me, he goes, everybody get down, there's going to be a big boom any second. And then he gets down.
I think I've seen one where somebody's like, whap! Like, holy shit! I saw one where the Antares rocket blew up in America. I think it was America, and it blew up on the pad. Fuck, that guy gets knocked right off the roof of the truck. You can tell. You can tell because he's up above everybody, and it's clear he's up on a truck or something. Because I think you can see a bit of the hood or something, and all of a sudden it's like, boom, and then you're like, oh, look at that. And then all of a sudden it's the scuffle, and then all of a sudden the fucking thing comes up, and it's on the ground. The fucking people are now up here. Like, he has moved like 7 feet from where he was. Like,
yeah, and apparently it totaled like 30 cars and trucks in the parking lot.
And he's well, they're not from these guys, but probably for the employees. I know what you're talking, like a little closer. Yeah. But these people were across the bay.
Insurance company and say that their car is totaled by the.
Well, oh no, you're thinking of the old one where there's that footage online from the one that blew up right in the middle of NASA, where it's like sparks are falling out of the sky.
Oh yeah.
That's an old one. No, this Antares one is way more recent. It's a big boom.
Is this in French Indonesia?
I don't think it is.
Because I think most Antares rockets.
Maybe I'm wrong about it being Antares, but hold on, I'll try to bring up Try to see if I can bring it up here. 1 second.
So many, I mean, but not recent though.
Oh no, this is only a few. This is only a few years ago. This Antares rocket.
Like the most recent explosion was what? SpaceX?
Probably, yeah. They blow up a lot because they're always pushing the edge.
Yeah, well, they were fueling on the ground, and
yeah, NASA's Antares rocket NASA Antares rocket. It was only 5 years ago. It's a big old boom.
Did it take off, or was it on the?
No, it's right on the fucking pad. It's a boom. I'll show it in just 2 seconds. Let me get the right video though.
Cool. Yeah, because these names and the numbers. I mean, there's like 7 names and a bunch of numbers. So
you're able to see that?
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, let me get the TV up.
I mean, and he is not close. That's a good 7 miles right there.
So it's like right above the pads. That's what it is. Watch. There's multiple angles of this. It was very much watched.
Yeah, because like that spot right there, that is a famous spot to watch these things, and that's 7 miles away.
Oh yeah. You got to be a ways away. Like, watch this. Fuck, this is loud.
Do you have the sound up?
Oh yeah.
I think there's a problem, Bob. Hit the self-destruct, Bob. Bob, where are you, Bob?
It's gonna be loud.
There you go. Good job, Bob. Way to be on top of shit.
Here comes, listen.
Holy shit. Oh my god.
So that's the one here.
I don't hear anything for some reason.
Oh, I didn't pump it to you. Just 1 second. I can give it to you. I can give it to you, buddy. I can fucking give it to you so hard. You love it. You fucking love it. Sorry, what?
I've seen it before, I don't really need to. Now I don't need
fucking, this is the really close one. Look at this. This is awesome. Watch. Oh, whoops. Wrong view.
Self-destruct, Bob. That is a big ass explosion. Here it comes.
Look at this.
I love the speed of sound. It's so slow.
Man, when you're in person watching a rocket, it's so intense when there's a big rocket going off.
It goes right through you. You can feel it in your chest.
You can feel it shaking the air. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, and yeah, like I like
some of them are smaller though. That you do a smaller one and it's much more like pew. There it goes.
You know, don't lie. Every time, I don't know. Every time. I mean, I've only seen 2 take off personally live, but both times, I won't lie, I wanted to see it explode because I just wanted to be there for an explosion.
I mean, at least there wasn't people on top of most of them. But yeah, like when you go and watch them in person, sometimes small rockets though. It depends on what they're launching. If it's a small payload on the right type of rocket, they go up pretty quick and they don't make too much rumble. But some of the rockets really fucking rumble when they go off, depending on how heavy the load is. Because if the load's real heavy, right, they spend more time sitting there just barreling at the ground, eh?
Dude, the Saturn V, when it was taken off, what it took
sorry,
like 50 seconds to clear the tower.
Here. Look at that fucking thing shake. Oh, problem. It got quiet.
Hit the self-destruct. Bob.
Oh no, I think it self-destructed itself. That broke the glass. Look at, nothing hit that. Look at.
Yeah, it did.
No, but like the shockwave did it, eh? Like that, the shockwave broke the glass. No object hit that.
Well, there's a lot of atoms in low atmosphere.
Yeah, like look at that.
It's so cool, man.
That is wicked, honestly.
Yeah, physics is awesome.
Did you know that when there's a nuclear bomb going off, that the kill the sound because it's gonna sound like shit. Whoa! Look at that. Oh, that's so cool. That's a beautiful picture, to be honest with you. Look at that. That's gorgeous.
Yeah, you did pretty good, actually. Yeah, very, very good quality. I'm very proud of you.
Wow, that's actually impressive. Here, I'm gonna hit print screen. Print screen. Okay. So yeah, like you look Oh, look at that. Boof. Can you see the ground move?
Play the SpaceX explosion.
The most recent one? SpaceX explosion. Well, wait, did you see the fucking new one go up? Hey?
Which one?
Here. Starship fucking popped. Did you see it?
Oh, yeah. Starship didn't do so well, did it?
No. Here, one's ad.
Which one are you talking about? The one that just exploded?
A lot of
Oh, wait, hold on.
Yeah,
I got
21
1 second.
instead compared to any.
Sorry, what?
I watch this guy all the time. What the hell's his name?
I don't know. We're just going to find the fucking footage I want. Here it is.
But this time, the entire SN1 Starship tank section just launched itself into the air here. We were assuming it wasn't going to fly due to comments earlier in the week. Well, we were kind of wrong about that. Itself into
Hey, that's true, eh?
Pressure of
That's true. They'd been saying it wasn't going to fly that day, you know? What a bunch of liars.
Yeah, it was not supposed to happen.
Previously, test tanks have been quite.
Cars are going by and shit.
Boom! Look at the inside fucking blowout.
Yeah. If you ever wanted to see a fucking water tank explode, there you go.
So, for the record, I won't lie to you that I don't feel good about this thing.
Who does? I mean, but not for nothing, dude. You gotta kind of go through these paces to fix it. I mean,
No. I get it. Like, how do you design something that doesn't blow? Well, you got to play Kerbal to know too, right?
Not for nothing though. You know how many rockets we exploded before fucking Gemini, or what was before Gemini? Apollo, Gemini. What was before Gemini?
But I mean, if you play Kerbal Space Program, you'll understand exactly how it works. Is you got to blow up a lot of shit to figure out what doesn't work.
Right. What I'm saying is before Gemini, which is
I have no idea.
You went up. What was the?
I've seen all the footage. It's like fucking. You might as well play like funny music to it. Boom, boom, boom.
Like they must have blew up like fucking 40 rockets before they even.
Fuck you guys! Sputnik went up there, and you guys were like, "Fuck you! We're putting our own up." You're like, "Go!" It was like, like, boom! Like it's like, fuck! Like.
It's like, well, maybe we should give Werner von Braun some.
It's like, that's it. We need to conspire to start a war so we can smuggle him over once Germany's just fucking leveled. It just worked out. What I'm saying is it worked out for you guys that he was in a country that he no longer wanted to have his family in when that was all over.
Well, he was like, let me see. I got Russia or the U.S. Well, I know what Russia does.
Oh, fuck Russia. I would have went with the U.S. any day. No, listen, you're the enemy that we know. I'm just kidding.
Yes, yeah.
No, it's the right choice.
Yeah, we got Disney. Russia has gulags. Where you want to go?
Hey, if you play enough Warzone, you got gulags too. Hey, we didn't play a song. Whatever.
Yeah,
add it post. Add it post.
Something.
You gotta add your copyrighted shit into the podcast part post, because I can't put it in the YouTube.
I do want to say, everybody check out Joyner Lucas's ADHD album that just dropped yesterday at 12 a.m. It's so good, so fucking good. Wow. I mean, he released a lot of it already, but it's literally only half. There's like 20 songs.
Okay, here, you hold down the show for a second. Talk to the fans. My dog is desperate for something. She either needs out or water. I gotta check on this.
Poo. But I gotta poo.
Well,
how long have you been doing this anyway?
You're the.
How long have you got?
Hour and 17 minutes. We're almost done. Or we could finish her. I don't care. It's up to you.
23. But my buddy Don wants to come on.
I mean, I don't want to be doing this forever. So if he wants to come on, he can come on quick. Is he already in?
I don't know. We would have to.
We can always. Hey, why don't we plan it for next week? Why don't we set it up?
Yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah, we could just have. Hey, listen, we'll have anybody on. You guys want to get? Anybody want to get on here? You tell us. Get on here.
Hashtag.
We're just fucking. As you can see, all this podcast is just shooting the shit. No. Talking about not even finishing subjects. People are like, "No, go back. You didn't finish." It's like, nope, that's how it rolls here.
What? We have people saying that?
No, I'm just saying that's how it's got to be for the odd person that listens to us. Like, you never finished your sentences. It's like, no. It's too late. It's 2 sentences back. We're leaving it. It's down. We can't go back for it. Like, it's fucking, it's out.
The name of the show and the podcast kind of should tip you off to shit. I mean, you know, I did name my first one is the Indie Sports Car Podcast for a reason.
It's just,
Kind
yeah, no,
kind
it's
of
kind of
tells
like
you
it's kind of like you're playing Warzone, and you know that other subject is like down about 2 buildings back, and the gas is coming. We just can't go back for it. it's just too fucking late.
It's funny.
Stop licking the floor, you pathetic animal. My dog's on the ground going, there was fries here. You dropped a fry. Like just loving the ground. Frank, I'm losing you here.
No, I'm right here. I'm texting Don back. I'm sorry.
Well, you know what you should do? You should talk to me just a little bit more, and we'll start wrapping it up because it's already been an hour and 20 minutes, and you know by the time we get out, it'll probably be another 10 more anyway.
Well, let's do our plugs in. So, you know, guys, you know, come back next week. Maybe we'll do a midweek thing because everybody's got not much to do anyway.
And do you see how we can actually get along sometimes too? I was in a good mood today. Thank you, Frank, for keeping me in a good mood. My stress levels were low. Probably because I stopped at the cannabis store and it was still open. One of them wasn't. I was getting a little bit worried. My heart started palpitating a little bit until I stopped at the next one.
My cannabis store hasn't called me back in 2 days. So.
My cannabis. I have one of those cannabis stores too. But I was gonna say that I went in there. Holy shit, man! You talk about like. You want to tell me about the difference between America and Canada? I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but have you gone to a store and had a security guard standing outside counting how many people are going in like a bouncer at a bar?
Yes.
That is the way it should be, though.
Only, let's see, most Wawas, it's only 10 people allowed.
Yeah, see, now we're down to 10 people in a store. And they're going to go down even more soon. But yeah, so like the cannabis store, I guess, still makes enough money that they're open, but they have hired private security to stand in front of the door and basically like do like bouncer work. You know, they basically just like, whoa, no, there's already 10 people in there. You just got to wait.
People will buy more if they're alone.
Sorry?
People will buy more if they're alone.
I don't know if that's necessarily true, but let's face it, most people... All I was going to say is most Canadians that go in there probably know what they want.
Because if there's a bunch of people in a store, I'll figure out what I need first and then just try to get it. And if there's any problems at all, I'll just say fuck it.
But when you're looking at cannabis, it's really not that complicated other than it's just price versus THC. Because, I mean, they give you, like, for instance, you go in and there's a menu. Think of, okay, so imagine walking into a building. You walk through the main doors. You open them. You walk in, there's like an entranceway that's like, there's like little rodeo doors, like this, you know, spring-loaded like salon doors in front of you.
So doors work. I know how building works.
Yeah, well, it's a vestibule style area. It's just to keep the inside area from being viewed from the outside area, I guess. But anyway, so you go in and there's like glass tables everywhere, and they've got merch, and there's pot you can sniff in the back and all that stuff. And on the table they've just got menus like you're at a fucking Chinese restaurant. And you walk up there and you just, you know, you lean against the counter, you open the menu, you look along, and you see, sativa, 18%, 3.5 grams for this much. You know, okay, and then you can just look down the list, and they list it. They do it in order of highest THC to lowest, at least the place I go to the most. And it's really easy. So you go in there and you look for the THC you want, CBD you want if you want CBD. You know, pre-rolls, they're all sectionized. So, I mean, let's face it, if you want high THC and stuff, you just know what you're doing. You go in there, you just look at the highest THC, and you look at the price beside it. You know?
Yeah, like the vape tips I've been getting, it's 98%. I'm like, oh. So
the only thing about when they say 98%, I think half of that's bullshit anyways, because you get like distillates, and they'll be like, it's 98%, but then really, I'll use shatter, which is apparently like only 80% or something, and I don't find I get higher off the distillate. I just find I pay more.
I've noticed, and I've noticed that the higher the THC content, the clearer it is.
But my shatter comes like stained glass already. So like it's just like so.
Glass is clear.
I think well, you know what I mean, like stained glass, like in the sense of like it's just colored glass. I can look right through it. It's like think like Heisenberg, but like orange or yellow.
Okay, I still don't know what you're saying.
Well, it's see-through. It's like it's clear like glass, but it's colored. It's just tinted the color of THC, the color of like crystals.
Most of the time when I get it, it's like a very like yellow tinge to it.
Yeah, because it is the color of the THC, right? So that's what I'm saying. The shatter I get is literally see-through. So it's maybe, you know, the other thing is Canada's been on top of this for a while. Maybe it's really pure here. I mean, maybe the black market stuff is good here. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. But all I know is that the darker it is, the shittier it is. That's all I know.
Well, yeah, like when you know, if you blast your own, it's actually illegal though. You're not allowed to use organic solvents. The reason for that is we're allowed to like bake with it. We're allowed to like you could use a bubble hasher where it's like it's one of those things that like makes you know, it like puts it in cold water and bubbles it around and everything, and then I guess it sloughs the THC crystals away. The other thing you can do is like you can press it, you can do all kinds of things because you're not altering it anyway. But right in the rules are you're not allowed to use organic solvents, and that's butanes and shit. And the reason that they did that is because people blowing themselves up. It's because in America, you guys were ahead of us on your states legal. Like we hadn't federally legalized it. We were all smoking it, but your states had already legalized it years ahead of us federally. So there's videos. I mean, go on YouTube. There's tons of videos, fucking surveillance videos and everything of people like doing their thing, and then all of a sudden there's a flash and they're running around with their hair on fire and shit, and like houses burning down, and like because all of these fucking stupid motherfuckers would go do it in the fucking like laundry room beside the hot water tank or something.
That's what I'm saying. If you would only cook your meth safer, guys.
Well, if you cook your weed, you know. But yeah, same idea. But if you, because that's what they do is they use butane and they slough it through like a tube. You just stuff it all in there and you push it through, and the butane is like it basically solvents the THC crystals.
It's lighter fluid, isn't it?
Well, yeah, but the butane evaporates. So all you do is you wash it through. It solvents it. It goes into the bottom. The boiling point of butane is like -20. So even at room temperature, it will boil. So, yeah. So you do it outside, and what you do, the trick is that you take a warm. Wait a minute, I'm not supposed to explain this shit on fucking YouTube. You don't do shit. You fucking don't do nothing. No, you're not allowed to explain how to manufacture fucking things on YouTube.
With fucking songs and shit, and you're sitting here teaching people how to.
Well, listen, it's not that complicated of a thing, because all I'm trying to explain, Listen, I wasn't trying to explain how to make it as so much as I was just trying to explain that all it really is THC crystals. Because you slough it away with the butane and then you evaporate out the butane. So when you're done, if you do it properly, it should be clean. The thing is, too, you know, a lot of times, Frank, if you're getting it from, like, the guy down the road, you don't know what kind of butane he used. Like the people that do this properly, they're using, like, triple or quadruple filtered butanes that have all the metals removed and heavy metals and things. Are you listening?
Yeah, I'm looking.
But you have all the heavy metals and shit removed, and whereas if a guy just goes and buys the fucking butane from the store for his Bic lighter or his like refillable lighter, that is full of all kinds of chemicals that are not healthy, and so you can't just blast with anything. Sorry, go ahead.
I've never bought butane to refill a lighter ever.
Well,
I mean, I have Zippos. I use nothing but Zippos, but these don't use butane.
But like to show you an example, this is confectionery stuff right here.
I'll show you. Roncinol is I use.
I'll show you.
Yeah, I use a yellow Roncinol bottle. I don't know what that is. I know it's not butane though. I'm pretty sure it's not butane. What the fuck is it anyway? I have no idea.
Now I don't have this. I don't have this for blasting. I have this for cooking. But this is confectionery level stuff, and this is the kind of stuff you would use. Because blasting is illegal.
Okay.
But it's a beauty. But if you look, it's like triple refined, no mercaptans, like so none of that smell, no toxic lubricants, food grade can, BPA free liner. Like it's actually like a food grade butane.
Craven, what was your favorite Black Mirror episode, man? The black and white one on the second to last season was one of my favorites, I think.
I haven't seen any.
You haven't seen any? Dude, we got to watch one together after we're done recording. You down?
Fuck that. No. I'm tired. I was up till 7 a.m. yesterday. I'm going to fucking sleep. I was up to. I got to go to sleep because I got 5.5 hours of sleep, and I went to bed when the sun was up.
Dude, I slept all day yesterday.
You're not going to compare my life to your life because I'm not you, and you can do what you want with your body.
Well, apparently,
I'm not saying I'll never watch it with you, Frank. I'm saying not tonight.
I'm told what I can do with my body by doctors.
Well, anyways, I'm exhausted. I can already feel it seeping into the back of my eyeballs. So, on that note, finish your plug that I cut you off on so summarily, like 10 minutes ago. See, I told you that would happen. Go ahead.
Did I like the stuff you use on charcoal, but like super refined?
Well, yeah, but not really. Yeah. Like butane's
one with the robot dog thing. Hell's fucking yeah, and that thing exists. DARPA has it. That's scary. Those fuckers are nuts.
All right. You
Anyways.
sign out. We got it for Craven. You were a little late. We were actually about to log off for this, but anyways.
Yeah, it's always good to see you, though, Craven. Thank you for supporting the show.
Yeah, he's a great guy. He's a great guy. Yep. I've got a
share it with your friends. They'll hate you for it.
I've got my guests. My guests are gonna be poisoning the well on Tuesday.
Yeah, Craven. Probably you're right, dude. One of the best ones. You're right. Yeah. The museum dead fucking ass, dude.
Okay. So I am Brainy Beaver. I'm gonna start mine. I am Brainy Beaver, and I'm awesome. People tell you that. And you can find me on YouTube, and also here on Way Off Topic Radio on YouTube. Brainy Beaver or Way Off Topic Radio. Subscribe to both of them, or else.
And Twitter. Go to Twitter. It's the best for creators. Anyway, and if you want to avoid all the shit you don't want to see, use Twitter, because fuck Facebook. Way Off Topic Radio. Drop the A off the radio. Just fuck Twitter with that. But anyway, Twitter's good for everything else. And shaved_beav, I think, for Brainy Beaver on Twitter.
Shaved_beav without an E.
And how the hell do you spell beav? Oh, shaved, you mean?
Shaved_beav.
So it's shaved without the E?
Oh, it says beav without the E. No, but never mind. Just fucking shaved beav. They'll figure it out. They got like 700 followers. It'll find me. I'm epic. What can I say? What?
Go to a podcatcher app or something and find the show, and it'll be in the show notes. There you go.
It's also right on the screen if they're watching it. Also, like if they go to the channel.
We're easy to find and we're easy to talk to.
But Frank, thank you for messaging me. I was like, oh fuck, I guess I got a podcast tonight.
I'm flexible as shit, dude. It's all good to me.
All right, well, before I start falling asleep right on stream,
I just want to say thanks to DX Don Mega, reddragonsradio.com. Everybody go to reddragonsradio.com. God, that was a mumble. reddragonsradio. You see, Red Dragon. So reddragonsradio.com. Go there. Not only will you find this great podcast, you'll find 4 others that I do or have done, and you'll find, oh God, get Funko Pops out of my fucking face, please.
Ruby Rod and Corbin Dallas, though. Corbin Dallas and Ruby Rod. Ruby Rod. Oh my God, it was so fantastic. Do you love it? Do you love it?
Commercial.
Ah, what's wrong with you? Anyways, fucking Chris Tucker. I love Chris Tucker.
Were you nervous in the service? No.
Were you? Oh my God. Okay, that's funny. Anyways, okay. So yeah, otherwise that's where you find us. Squirrel.
Dude, can we spend the next 10 minutes doing Fifth Element quotes?
No, let's not. Let's get out. Let's get the fuck out of here. I'm so tired.
We got him. It was hard, but we bagged him.
We bagged him. We got him. Okay, let's go. Okay, I'm signing off of the live stream. Thank you for watching, Craven. I appreciate you being here. And, talk to you later, buddy. You're going to hear a scream.
Greg, I'll be over to cuddle those balls soon, buddy. See ya.
I don't want you to hear the scream. Oh, you're going to hear the scream.